Welcome back to Anything is Possible. My name is Tamara and I live at Lake Chapala in Jalisco, Mexico. I thought I'd give you a little house tour today and an update on what's happening with me. I got all moved in. I still have the other place. At this point I'm waiting for the final two bills, the electric bill and the water bill, which since there's no mail delivery here, they're just little slips of paper that they slip under the gate, and I'm hoping it doesn't rain because I go over and check every couple of days to see if it's been delivered, but so far it hasn't. So anyway, I got to pay those and then I'll turn over the keys and they can have the house back. And I'm completely into the new one, and it's really wonderful to have be settled in and getting things kind of organized in systems to the way that I can do things that I do every day, places to put things away so that things stay tidy. A guy was supposed to show up today to give me an estimate on putting the pathway in my backyard. But there was an emergency on a job site, and in fact someone had broken a gas line. So I decided that was probably more important than getting me an estimate. So he'll be here on Monday, and hopefully I can get that project underway. Right now everything is kind of settling into a pattern, and I wanted to make sure, give the kitties a couple of weeks to, should judge how they were feeling in terms of adjusting to the new place. Dogs tend to be, they can move anywhere and they're, happy wherever you are. Cats take a lot longer to kind of get used to a place and make it, so they know the schedule and where they can hang out and find comfy places to be. And I was feeling that they were really quite skittish there for a while. But I did just adopt a new dog a little over a week ago. His name is Angel, and I had done a video on him way back, like in February, for a shelter that had to be closed, and they were trying desperately to find homes for the dogs that were left. And Angel was having a really hard time. He had distemper when he was a puppy, and it did significant nerve damage to him. So he's kind of damaged property, and I guess people just shied away from that, even though he's a very, very friendly, very sociable, very happy, super intelligent boy. Just anything that you might want in a dog. But he has this twitch, kind of a little jerk in his body every time. The nerves just fire, and I don't know what it is. He's on gabapentin, and I also have him on CBD oil. And I guess it's about as good as we can get. I'm going to be talking to a vet and seeing if we can up the dose of gabapentin. I mean, obviously with any pharmaceutical there are always side effects, and so I want to make sure I do what's best for him. He seems perfectly able to sleep through everything, and even though his body is jerking every few seconds, he's sound asleep. So I guess he's had it for so long. I mean, he's probably about 2 years old, I'm just guessing, since he was at the shelter and up for adoption for over a year. And I'm not sure when he came in, but I imagine that he came in while he was still, less than a year old, probably, kind of puppyish, but had recovered from the distemper. So anyway, he's delightful, although since he's lived half his life in a shelter and being boarded the last few months, he has had virtually no exposure to the real world and has had no training, and so he's almost like, starting from the beginning, although since he's an adult, he knows about life a little bit, but he just hasn't been trained and he hasn't been exposed to anything in the real world. So everything is brand new and kind of scary to him. He doesn't know how to react to a lot of things, so I've been taking things very slowly. In just less than a week, he reliably sits. I can get him to stay. I taught him down yesterday and one day, and he knows come now pretty well. So he knows those 4 basic commands already in less than in about a week time. So he's really, really good. When it's in a calm environment in the home or in the backyard, he's fine. He does really well. But I only started out being able to walk him about a half a block, and he was just jolting away, bolting at everything, lunging on the leash and reacting to everything. So I started taking him out really early in the morning before anything really starts. No school children walking to school, trucks and automobile traffic and people walking around. There's a few people that walk really early in the morning, but the street's pretty quiet. So I've been taking him out. At first I let him sit in our front porch, and we go around, and he gets used to just being there. And now he's kind of gotten used to that, just being okay, being out there and watching some things go by. And then I started trying to walk him and teaching him to stay by me and not to bolt on the leash and yank on me. I mean, I figure I want this dog to be really well trained, because as I get older, I want him to just be really well behaved so that I don't have to deal with him pulling me over in any kind of situation when we're walking or be startled at anything. So it's going to take quite a long time, I think, for us to get used to, but even in just a week. Yesterday we were able to walk for a block and a half, and again, it was like 6:15 in the morning. This morning I got up late because I was just feeling really tired. It's Saturday, and so we all kind of slept in a little bit, and it was about 7:30, and there was a lot going on out in the street, and he didn't do well at all. There was a couple of dogs, and he just came unglued about that and was unable to focus. I mean, he cannot focus. He has a hard time hearing me, calling him, saying his name, responding to that. So we just have to back up, I mean, I never tell him he's bad, but he just gets less of the good dog and the rewards. So, I've been using clicker training, and you can look that up if you're interested, but I have a thing that makes a click sound when he does what he's supposed to, and then I give him just a tiny morsel of this turkey hot dog, which he just loves. I mean, I was trying regular training treats, and frankly, he was very unexcited about those. So I decided that even though I don't really like feeding hot dogs to my animals, he really, really loves them. So, and then in the evening, I do a little work with him during the day. When I go out, I keep him in the backyard quite a lot, and then I put him in my bedroom. I'm still not letting him with the cats because he seems to have way too much interest in the cats, and I'm afraid he might hurt them, and they're kind of scared of him. So we're going to take that real slow, but he sleeps on the bed with Wookie now for afternoon nap, and then in the evening we go sit on the front patio, and I have a chair there, and he just, we just sit out there, and he pays attention. There's a lot going on, people walking up and down the street at that time of day, and cars and traffic, and it's pretty busy, but he's getting used to that, and we're just doing it really safely inside the yard, behind the fence, and we sit, and I sit there with the clicker and the treats, and when he's a good boy, he gets treats and lots of love, and I just think, reinforcing him for doing the right things is the way that training works best. Making him feel bad or making him feel, like he's a bad boy for any reason, I think is not a good idea. Do a little house tour of the way things are now. As there's still things in boxes. I have more electrical work to do. I did have this man come who is from the United States, and he knows how to do things to code. So he grounded the electricity in the whole house, and he put in the GFCI in the kitchen and the bathroom. And so now I can listen to my stereo with the grounding, and so it's nice because there's no humming noise from not being grounded. And so he's fixed 3 of the lights that were glowing at night and just ran out of time. So he's very busy, and so he'll be back in 2 weeks. I found another glowing light, which basically means that it just wasn't wired correctly. The light never really actually shuts off. And then I'm going to have him put in a couple more outlets so I can move my piano into the living room rather than being in the office, which it's just not a very exciting place to play the piano. And then I want to put an outlet out on the patio so I can put like a credenza out there and have a cooktop out there and be able to cook on the patio and have some electricity out there near my table. I'm really happy I moved here. I live in San Antonio, Tlayacapan now. One thing I'm just itching to get some plants in the ground. It's really hard, but when you're doing landscaping, you have to do things in an order. So the walkway really has to be next. My little path that goes out and around the backyard with kind of this center island that I'm going to build up into a bit of a mound and then plant on top of that. I can't plant first. I mean, I could, but it's better to have the pathway there and then plant around the pathway and not have the guys that are putting the path in have to worry about trampling plants or where they put materials. They can just go ahead and work. And then once that's done, then I'm going to have a guy come and build an extension onto this dog run that somebody built out there, and it's really an eyesore, but it's a concrete pad with chain link fence, and it's not very tall. It's about 5 feet tall, I guess, and I'm going to have it extended up and put a roof on it and then grow vines on the chain link. I'm going to have passion fruit, or what they call maracuya, and maracuya is a really delicious fruit, and it grows really just rampantly here. And then I'm going to grow some grapes. I think I'm going to get a seedless table variety called Red Globe, which is apparently very frost tender, and it only grows in warmer climates, and so most people never even get to taste it, and I never have. But once I get going, I'm going to do an episode on edible landscaping, because that's what I want to do. I mean, not everything in my yard is going to be edible. I definitely have some ornamentals, but I have a banana, and I just bought a good size yellow lemon, which is also not common here at all. Almost everybody eats limes. So the landlord actually did plant a lime tree, and they planted an avocado tree, which is going to take a few years probably to start bearing. And then there's what they call a mini guava. Apparently it doesn't get very big. You just sort of pop it in your mouth and eat it. Again, I am I'm really excited to focus on things that are drought tolerant, native to this area, and also provide me food. And that is one thing, even though food and fruit here is abundant and not that expensive, organics, not really a thing here. So I really like having organic vegetables and fruits, and if I can grow them myself, I can control that. I basically am not using no herbicides or pesticides in my garden at all. So I'll be able to have good organic food, fresh, and if I have a surplus, there's certainly plenty of people that need food here, and I'll be happy to donate it. So. That's it for this week. I will talk to you again soon. I hope you're doing well, and I'm so glad you stopped in. If you feel like it and you like what I have to offer, look at my other videos. I've covered an awful lot of the nuts and bolts here, living in Mexico and what it's like. I don't gloss over things and make it all seem real happy. I love it here. Not everybody does. Some people find a lot of things pretty annoying. But you know, the longer you live here, the more just is a natural way of living. It's kind of an old-fashioned way of living. Things don't always work, and you don't have all the modern conveniences, but it's it's a very sincere and simple life, and I really love it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, or if you find other videos on here that might be of interest to somebody you know, share those videos with them. And I really appreciate you being here today. Great to see you again, and I will see you next time. Bye.